Tesla bull Cathie Wood is at it again. She's now saying that Tesla's share of the worldwide auto market, not the electric car market, the worldwide auto market could be 25% by 2026. Is this even possible? Hello, my friends. You're watching The Electric Viking. My name is Sam Evans. Welcome to the channel. Fantastic to have you here on board. Now, there's been a huge number of subscribers come to the channel recently. Welcome. And welcome back to all of you who have been on board over the last 6 months. Now, there is around about 600 videos we've created over the last 6 months, so make sure you jump onto the channel and check out those videos. We make 5 a day, so I almost guarantee you've missed some of them. And you probably don't want to if you want to stay informed on what's happening in the electric car, the battery, the technology scene. Tesla bull and CEO of ARK Invest, Cathie Wood, predicts that Tesla's share in the total auto market could be up to 25% by 2026. Teslarati reports that Wood also believes that the transition to electric vehicles might be too little, too late for legacy automakers. And, I think she's right. It could be. We're teetering on a knife's edge right now. Some people are saying, solving the money problem, for example, say that it is too late. Time's up. Ford, General Motors, Toyota, Honda, finished. You're all dead. Sure, not today, but will be. It's only a matter of time, like a dead man walking. Is that true? Well, it's a really good question. If Tesla is the first to be successful in autonomous driving in the United States, we're beginning to believe that not only will Tesla take that biggest share of the electric vehicle market, we believe it could take 20 to 25% share of the total auto market in 5 years. That's what Wood said in an interview recently with Barron's. Now, from Teslarati, Tesla versus other electric car startups. And you're probably thinking, why is he sharing information here from Teslarati? Well, you'd be surprised. Over the last year, I've seen a lot of good information on that website that is not strictly partial to Tesla. It is, in my view, the best fan site of any kind on the internet. They do some incredibly impressive work. If you don't already read it, you don't already go to that site, you should check it out. Now, if you hate Tesla, then don't go there because you'll just be putting yourself through torture. But if you have some balance and you can read through, obviously some of the articles are pretty partial to Tesla. Some of them are pretty balanced and pretty well written. Now, CEO and founder of ARK Invest believes that other EV startups like Rivian and Lucid aren't a real threat to Tesla. Rivian recently completed one of the biggest IPOs in US history, debuting at $78 per share with a valuation of over $77 billion. And they subsequently increased in value to a share price of, well, epic proportions. When I last looked on the 21st of November, that's actually when I bought shares in the company, just as a bit of a joke. The share price was double that, and the company had a valuation of $145 billion. Share price was $140 per share, which is an enormous bubble. It's stupid, ridiculous. Do they make a good truck though? Yeah, they do. I like it. Now, meanwhile, Lucid has started delivering the Air Dream Edition. Lucid Motors CEO expects to catch up to Tesla's $1 trillion valuation in future. Now, that, in my opinion, is a comment that the SEC should investigate. I don't believe that Lucid Motors has any intention of ever trying to catch up to Tesla's $1 trillion valuation, and no intention whatsoever of making anywhere near enough cars to ever be a big player on the market. Don't get me wrong. I think they will succeed, but they obviously are not a competitor in terms of scale, in terms of ever mass manufacturing a product. That is not in their plans as far as I know. Any claims to the contrary are just talk, not actual action. So, I agree, Cathie Wood is correct. Rivian and Lucid will not ever be direct competitors with Tesla because Tesla has become basically legacy auto. That's what they're doing now. They're shipping 1 million cars per year. It'll be 2 million next year, probably 3 and then 4 or 5. And eventually their plan is to ship out 20 million cars per year by 2030. That is an ambitious goal. But are Tesla putting in place the right moves, strategies to make that happen? Absolutely. I made a video recently on the number of batteries the amount of battery supply they intend to secure and produce themselves over the next 5 years. And it is gargantuan, absolutely enormous. No other company in the world has come close to committing to that kind of battery supply. And there is no other possible conclusion you can come to. If no one else is coming close to committing to the battery supply, they simply won't have the cars. You can't just magically pull batteries out of thin air. It does not work that way. If you need the kind of batteries to make 10 million cars per year or 20 million cars per year, you need to plan that at least 7 years in advance, at least. If you're planning that and you're saying there's these Toyota fanboys coming out, I'm telling you now, the Toyota fanboys, they are hardcore. They genuinely believe Toyota can pivot within 12 months to being all electric. That is just fantasy. Absolute fanboy fantasy. Now, there are Tesla fanboys, no question about it. There are lots of them. Some of them watch this channel. And I'm sorry, even though these Tesla fanboys sometimes do have the wrong impression of Tesla, sometimes it's a little bit exaggerated, it is nothing in comparison to the utter delusion of some of the Toyota fanboys out there who genuinely believe that Toyota in 2030 will be this massive company, still selling 10 million cars a year. How is that even possible? They're not planning to do that. They're not putting themselves in position to succeed. So it's not physically possible if we need electric cars, which we do, people want electric cars, by 2030, at least 95% of the entire auto market will be electric. And Toyota doesn't plan on having those cars available. They don't. They've disclosed their exact plans to us. We know what they are. I've made videos about that. I'll put a link in the description below. Then simply Toyota cannot succeed on a large scale. If they do succeed, it'll be as a small player. Anyway, can Tesla succeed? Of course they can. Can they take 25% of the market though by 2026? That's a tall order. I don't know that that's possible by 2026, 25%. That's a tough one. Now, if the market suddenly goes all electric, then Tesla have a good shot of maybe hitting 20%. If everything works out perfectly, everything they're doing has to work out perfectly. Their own battery production, all those battery lines have to work out perfectly. There can't be any hiccups, it's going to take us an extra 6 months. Oh yeah, we said this, it's going to take another year. Things have to align perfectly. In a perfect world, if things align perfectly, I can see Cathie Wood's prediction being correct. But that said, Cathie Wood stuck her neck out and predicted the stock price of Tesla today. And she is the only person who got it right. So, the reality is, if you're criticizing her or you're criticizing me for saying she could be right, did you correctly pick Tesla's stock price? Did you? And did you go on national television and look like an idiot? Realistically, she knew she looked like an idiot, right? When she was doing this, she knew people were just bagging the hell out of her saying, you are a mad woman. You are nuts. You are the only person on the planet saying Tesla's stock price is going to go to where it is today. And she got it right. You know, everyone thought she was insane. So I've got to say, questioning her now, did you pick it? Because if you didn't, then she probably has more credibility than you and I and all of us here on this channel put together. Now, she's saying though that the key issue here is autonomous driving. Will they have that nailed down by 2026? Personally, from what I've seen, from the videos that I'm seeing, from the current full self-driving beta videos, I think what is currently on the cars, the technology, the battery, I don't think it's good enough, honestly, but I do think it will be good enough by 2026. I think they need a few changes to the cameras. I think the cameras need higher definition. They need to be potentially placed further up the front of the car. But I do think, regardless of those things, to be honest, the reality is I don't know what I'm talking about. Tesla has 100 engineers that know 100 times more than I do and you do and anyone else on YouTube does. People that claim otherwise, they're just blowing smoke up their own butts and they think that they're geniuses. They're not, because the geniuses work at Tesla. You and I don't work at Tesla because we aren't geniuses. The geniuses work there, getting paid a hell of a lot of money, hell of a lot of stock options There are so many millionaires working at Tesla, you would be amazed. But anyway, Rivian wants owners to seek outdoor adventures with their family and friends while using the company's R1T and R1S vehicles, while Lucid focuses more on delivering the deluxe experience to customers, making the AirDream Edition a luxury electric vehicle that could replace traditional luxury ICE cars. So now we're getting back to the point here that Cathie Wood said Rivian and Lucid are not direct competitors for Tesla. They're not. I mean, sure, they will be on different models, but overall, these guys, their vehicles are just too expensive to compete with the Tesla Model Y, Tesla Model 3, and the Tesla Model A, the Tesla Model 2, which I just made a video about. You should check that video out. I'll put a link in the description below. I think this car will be a game changer. Tesla versus legacy OEMs. That's the next step. Let's have a look at that. As for traditional automakers, Cathie Wood believes Ford and General Motors invested too little, too late. Well, yeah. Cathie, you know what? I agree. If they had invested what they've planned to invest, say a few years ago, it would be an entirely different story. America would be in an entirely different position. The global auto market would be an entirely different place. Unfortunately, the CEOs of Ford and General Motors basically just said, we want ice cream happiness. We want to eat our ice cream now. We don't want to delay gratification. That's what they said. And so therefore they put themselves in a very precarious position. Even though Cathie is watching the autonomous investments and partnerships that legacy OEMs have made during the EV transition, she said it's going to be awfully difficult for those companies to manage during the next 5 to 10 years, Wood said, and we would bet that they will not be alive in their current state. They may be in combination with someone else, or they may go bankrupt. Now, I agree with Cathie on this. As you know, you've seen my videos. I'll put some links in the description below for those of you who are new to my video about Ford going bankrupt and General Motors going bankrupt. But I made those videos before some of the recent announcements. Today, I think, realistically, who is in a better position to succeed, Ford or GM? Well, it's 50-50 there. It's tough. The CEO of Ford is definitely on the money more than the CEO of General Motors, who is delusional. Mary Barra has she's lost her mind lately. She thinks that somehow General Motors will beat Tesla by 2025 and has no plans to do so, but somehow they will. So that, to me, if you're living in fantasy world, then you can't make good decisions. You've got to be living in reality world to make good decisions. And Jim Farley, CEO of Ford, what he's saying within the last month means he's living in reality world, and that's a good thing. GM and Ford, I want them to succeed, but, by 2030, it's going to be very, very tough for them to succeed in the way that they are currently today. I think they'll be a fair bit smaller, and I think by then they will have woken up and been forced to go all electric, even though they're not planning to do so. Now, by 2030, without a doubt, whether or not they still exist, Ford and General Motors, Tesla will be way bigger than both of them, probably bigger than both of them put together. The ARK Invest CEO believes traditional automakers must make one giant leap to transform into EV manufacturers. An EV transition may be difficult for legacy OEMs because ICE manufacturing is so ingrained into their DNA. And I've talked about that as well. I've talked about how they've got to change everything. Their engineers, what do? They don't build electric cars, do they? They build ICE vehicles. What have they been doing for the last 50 years? What are their factories told to do? Changing everything is extremely difficult. That's why, obviously, the market is valuing Lucid and Rivian so highly, because they think starting from scratch can be a better move than trying to change everything, change a culture, change everything. Even so, Ford has found success in the Mustang Mach-E. Although Ford CEO Jim Farley did hint that the company's production system had to make adjustments to meet the Mustang Mach-E's strong demand. And I talked about that in my video where I said that Chinese buyers are cancelling their orders for Mustang Mach-E's and buying Tesla Model Ys because Ford isn't making enough cars. But I'll put a link in the description to that video too. Ford has learned from its early Mustang Mach-E challenges. Well, yeah, they've learned some. But remember, another problem for Ford and GM is dealerships. They're losing a lot of sales by simply forcing you to use a dealership. People don't like that old model. So that is a bit of a disadvantage for them as well. Now, other OEMs will have to take similar steps to survive this revolution. And it is difficult. extremely, extremely difficult. Chinese automakers will have 50% of the market at minimum by 2030. You just need to watch my videos from my channel to see all the research I've done on this. There is just ample evidence that this is happening. There's no stopping it. It is fact. Might as well embrace it. I'm not saying it coming from politics. I'm not trying to say I agree with this or I'm not trying to take over the world or anything like that. I'm not at all. I'm just embracing reality and letting you know what will happen. Will Tesla control 25% of the worldwide auto market by 26? If I'm a betting man, I would say no. Will they control 25% by 2030? If I'm a betting man, I would say there's a 50% chance. Now, what do you think? Will Tesla have 25% of the market in, or 20 to 25% in 2026? Or will they have 20 to 25% in 2030? Or will it be nothing close to that? Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Thank you for watching. I've appreciated your contributions daily to the channel, your comments, your likes, everything that you do. Stay awesome. Stay happy. Remember, EVs are making the world a better place. Have a fantastic day and I'll see you again on the next one. Bye-bye.